So I'm here with Marie and Matt, who are both first-time voters. So guys, who do you think held the floor last night? Who came out best?
I think for me it was David Cameron. I thought he offered like a honesty, a sincerity that I think the British public need at the moment. Whereas opposed to say Gordon Brown, who looked, it was a little bit slow off the mark for me as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. I'd actually disagree with that. I think a lot of people have actually commented how David Cameron seems just a bit false in his way. I think he's more of a showman than a real sort of person, like a people of a person. Despite how his policies reflect that.
Yeah, I mean, last night they were saying that people were voting and they said that Nick Clegg was coming out top. But today it's changed and it's agreeing with you, saying that the Conservatives are ahead of the poll to come in first. Do you think, do you not agree with that now?
I'd say that people would veer more towards Conservative because just it's a change of government, and after it's been more than 10 years, it's needed.
Yeah. What policies are important to you, and do you feel that they touched upon them at all?
I think David Cameron quoted that as long as everyone works hard, he will look after them, and I think that is important for the way the country should be run. It would create a good attitude for people striving to work hard to better themselves. Immigration, public health, taxation and stuff like that were all various points that David Cameron was keen to cover.
Yeah.
And so that's why I thought, he did extremely well.
Yeah.
Everything that was raised, really, you can't say that any of them are less or more important than anything else, and obviously they all affect every member of public in this country, so, a lot of issues need to be addressed.
What about the style, the format of the show, where the audience were encouraged not to clap or not to jeer or anything? How did you feel that came across?
Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a shame, really. Like, I think it's important I wanted to see a little bit of passion from those in the audience. Like, if one of the politicians said something that a member of the audience didn't agree with, why should that audience member not have the right to jump up and say, I don't agree with that? That would have been, really make them have to explain it and, be honest with themselves.
Once they asked their question, although sometimes the politicians did say, sorry, who asked that, and looked into the audience, they didn't really have time to re-comment and say, yes, okay, you've made that point, but what about this? Like, it was a question, it was an answer, there was no extra.
Yeah, almost like they ticked it off, it was on to the next item. It's like, is that person fully satisfied?
But in some ways, maybe it's easier to maintain order and officialness within not talking to the audience as much.
Yeah.
But then the reaction from the audience would have then could have influenced what they were going to say next and stuff like that. Like, how would they play it? What vibe were they getting from the audience? Yeah. I think that might have made it more interesting.
Yeah. So what would you have changed about it if you had a choice? How would you set it up?
I think I probably would put more audience participation in there, and
if they said something that they agree with, and someone felt passionate about it, agree with them.
Yeah. But was there anything to say that they couldn't do that, or was it the audience just?
There was, I think, a set of rules where they said, like at the end, they all had to do a little handshake just to say that it was the end of the debate then. Yeah. So there were rules set up to, obviously, saying, control the audience and that. But do you feel that Alistair Stewart handled it well?
Yeah, actually. He was very, he knew who he wanted to speak to, and, when they get into a bit of a discussion, he kept repeating their names, saying, no, Nick Clegg, or Gordon Brown, moving on. So I thought he did a good job as well. He maintained order really well. So.
With that bit, if I'm being completely honest, it wasn't really about him, to be honest. He did his job, and he facilitated it well.
Yeah. So before you saw the debate, were you unsure about your feelings towards it, and has it helped you to definitely make up your mind?
The debate itself, or the
the debate?
No, not really. I was always going to watch it. I was always going to see what each of them had to say, and I felt that it was very informative, and it served its purpose for me, just to get to know a bit more about the basics of the three parties.
Yeah, I thought I was 100% for it. I think it's a brilliant idea. I'm surprised they haven't done it sooner. They're up there on their own. They've got no one behind them. They've got nowhere to hide effectively. The camera people were filming their gimmicks, their facial expressions and stuff like that, hands gestures and stuff. They couldn't get away with anything up there that night, and I think that was important to see.
Yeah, you showed them for their true light.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that's important for the public and for first-time voters like yourself.
Yeah, definitely. The public wants someone who's real. They want someone that they can identify with.
Yeah.
They don't need to see this, person, you know, like painted almost like a celebrity, like he's a politician. He should be a normal individual to represent normal England. So
like anybody can act to a certain extent, and that we don't want an actor. We want, you know, a real person.
Yeah. So you'll both be voting on the 6th of May then.
Definitely,
Yes, we will, yeah.
definitely.
Yes. Any ideas who you might be going for?
I'm probably going to go blue, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still unsure as of yet.
I'm blue or yellow. I can't decide. Lib Dem or Conservative.
interesting.
Yeah. Labour did not just not done it for me. So.
How do you feel about, say, a hung parliament? How would you feel about that?
I think that's much more fair. I think it would work. I don't see why they don't. And I think maybe in the future it's something which may be enforced. Maybe not anytime soon, but...
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. I think it's exciting, you know, you either one or the other and you just,
Yeah.
Because it would just be a fair representation of society.
Well, not necessarily.
Would it be fair?
Yeah. You'd end up just having people arguing and nothing would ever get resolved.
It would be very interesting.
It would be interesting to see. It would be very interesting to see.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much for your time. Thank you.
Cheers.